Vietnam Women's Museum. Vietnamese Women Museum was established in 1987 by and run by Vietnam Women's Union. It is a gender museum with functions of research, preservation, and display of tangible and intangible historical and cultural heritage of Vietnamese women and Vietnam Women's Union. It is also a center for cultural exchange between Vietnamese and international women for the goal of equality, development, peace. Since its opening into public in 1995, Vietnamese Women's Museum has successfully held many exhibitions, serving hundreds of thousands of Vietnamese and international visitors a year. It has a collection of more than 225,000 objects and minerals related to Vietnamese women. In late 2010, Vietnamese Women's Museum reopened to public its permanent exhibit after 4 years of upgrading and refurbishing with 3 items: women in family, women in history, women's fashion. There are some interactive spaces which are very interesting for views in the museum. In addition to regular exhibits, Vietnamese Women's Museum also organizes many special thematic exhibitions with new approach of social anthropology, reflecting the development and changes to contemporary society through projects targeting many different groups, particularly vulnerable women and disadvantaged children. In 2012, Vietnamese Women's Museum was honored to be ranked one of the best attractions in Hanoi in 2012 by TripAdvisor, one of the most prestigious world tourist websites. In 2013, TripAdvisor continued to include Vietnamese Women's Museum on the top 35 most interesting museums in Asia, worth a visit. Touching stories is the message TripAdvisor wants to send to readers when it describes Vietnamese Women's Museum. The symbol of the museum. The museum symbol is a statue of Vietnamese mother. In entrance hall, depicting a mother holding a child on her shoulder, her right hand as if pushing hard, the wine down at her feet to shielding and protecting the children, and the child represents for the future. In Vietnam's Central Highlands, in Ede Monong, Gia Cô Ho, Tu and Ragalai have a matrilineal tradition. The oldest woman has an important place and a decisive role in family affairs. The bride and her family play the major role in the wedding. With some local differences, it is usual for men to live in the wife's home and children to take the mother's name. Girls inherit family wealth, and the youngest girl is the most privileged. Although every child is precious, girls are preferred at the wedding of a daughter, and to welcome their son-in-law, the bride's parents have to offer the groom's family compensation in the form of goods, which are determined between two families. Although the groom lives with the wife's family, he maintains responsibilities to his original family, especially in wedding rituals. Some of the objects are important. Small box for engagement. The story about the invitation card, Hanoi 1961. Beto tried for proposal to the daughter-in-law, Huế, beginning 20th century. Wedding screen, a back tie, cloth, bamboo stick with a list of gifts. Cloth used to cover heads of the couple wedding at the wedding of carrot. Wedding bracelets, necklace, earrings, rings. Notebook for wedding. Divination theory, Taoist manuscript. The birth, the desire for children. The rituals for for a child are still frequent today among many groups. Among the Viet couples who have no child or no son yet, make a request in the pagoda or the temple and ask for amulets that the women will wear, hoping that their wishes will come true. Some girls invite a ritual master to applicate at home. Necklaces and bracelets for the requested child. Amulets, care for new mothers. These are some of the most important objects for birth. For the Viet, recovery from childbirth normally takes 1 month, but it can last up to 100 days for some women. In some ethnic community groups, the recovery period can be reduced to less than a week. During this time, new mothers must follow a strict diet. For the Viet, young fruits such as papaya or banana seeds or banana flour are included in the daily diet of to a foster location. The new mother's room should be warm, free of draughts, and purified by the smoke of special herbs. Heating is provided by embers or the kitchen fire in most ethnic populations. The women's history. The exhibits in this section examine the role of participation of Vietnamese women during resistance wars against enemies and illustrates the different aspects of women's daily life during the wars. Personal objects such as a ring, a straw, or hat or photograph represent major events for heroines of Vietnamese history. Short films show how women in contemporary life assert their personality with energy, passion, skill, and spirit based on the traditional values. Historic personages. The Chung sisters, well known as the Hai Chung, from year 12 to year 43, the Vietnamese military leaders who ruled for 3 years after rebelling in 40 AD against the first Chinese domination of Vietnam. They are regarded as national heroes of Vietnam. Their names were Trương Trắc and Trương Nhi, Triệu Nhi, Bùi Thị Xuân, and more other names of Đặng Thị. 1930 to 1945, revolutionaries and political battles during the battle for independence. The revolutionary female force matured as a military organization. Communist women play an essential role in the founding of revolutionary bases, the development of a military force, organization of the Women's Union. Women were arrested, imprisoned, and killed for defying the enemy and fighting for movements against local authorities, which led to the takeover. The guerrillas. The guerrilla forces were a popular army founded in villages that to fight against enemy raids and destroy enemy posts. During the resistance war, 12 guerrilla women were awarded the hero title amongst them Hồ Bà Thị, Hồ Thị Thiên, Mạc Thị Bui, Võ Thị Sáu. Following the 1954-1975 Southern Vietnam signing the Geneva Accords, Vietnam was divided into two parts. The liberated North entered the transition period towards socialism, while the South continued to resist the American forces and fight for traditional reunification. In the South, women made great contributions during combat and resistance movement, with many leaving their lives for the country. Tens of thousands of women imprisoned and tortured, but remained loyal to the revolution. After the victory of Điện Biên Phủ, North Vietnam rebuilt its company and developed a socialist state. when men would mobilize to the front, and the women assumed all were tasked behind the lines. Many women joined the three responsibilities, which focused on production, combat, and family, to turn the North into a strong support base able to help the South. Thousands of women joined the military, army, or became young volunteers. Some high objects, like during war, young volunteers and soldiers, the military, the whaling tunnels, the reunification. On the 14th of April 1975, Saigon was liberated through Ho Chi Minh campaign. During this campaign, women cadres, together with the revolutionary forces of civilization, started enterprising and occupied economic and political offices. On behalf of the professional armed forces, they contributed the complete victory of the reunification of the country. The heroic mother of Vietnam, the battle of the reunification of the country could not have been accomplished without the silent sacrifices of the women, whose children and husbands died for their home country. Compensation was given to these honored mothers, such as accommodations or pensions. In December 2008, almost 57 women received the title, some posthumously. Today, Vietnamese women continue contributing to the construction of an emerging peaceful society. They still assert their personalities with energy, passion, skills, and spirit based on the traditional values. They actively learn, improve their life skills and knowledge, as well as enhance their abilities. With their courage, they play a key role on the family and society.